Everybody, welcome back to another live stream. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat. Appreciate everybody coming and hanging out. Let's see. Got Miss Lachey say happy Tuesday. Mark's in chat. Welcome. So once everybody gets in here, we'll go ahead and start, chopping it up. Hopefully sales are going well for you guys. Let me know if you can hear me. Space Dolphin, welcome. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So for those of you guys that are new to the channel, I do this every Tuesday night where we just come and we talk about recent changes, current events to the reselling space, questions, comments. I answer your questions to the best of my ability to try to help you guys out with the little bit of knowledge that I have. I don't claim to be an expert. I just know what works for me. Trisha says, "Hey, I'm here. Welcome." What's up, Tony? Can you guys hear me? Somebody type one in the chat if you can hear me. No one said that they can hear me yet, so probably can't. If you can hear me, which I hope you can, welcome. Hopefully you guys are doing well. So like I said, every Tuesday night we do this, and the last couple of weeks I've been doing. All right, Katie Reed says she can hear me. Welcome. Thank you. Bobby, welcome. Last couple of weeks I've been doing giveaways, gyro pad giveaways. Tonight I will be doing that as well. Make sure that Hillary Murphy comes in. She is the mod of the year. She will help me with that. Bobby, what's going on? All right, everybody said they can hear me. Craven Cards. All right, I like that. Welcome. Sandra, welcome. Elena, you can hear me. Welcome. Ryan, what's up, guy? All right, cool. So, eBay. What's going on with eBay? So, as a lot of you are probably aware, the report came out a little bit earlier today. I guess I'll show that, and we can talk about that real briefly. It seems as though eBay's stock is up, even though it's declining margins and weak revenue guidance. They're still up $552 million, and pretty sure that's coming from squeezing the little guy like us, getting the fees off of our promotions and this advanced promoting that they're doing for like pay-per-click, and then obviously putting ads on the space. They're up compared to 2.38 billion a year ago. They're up 2.5 billion. So eBay's not hurting as much as probably we thought they were, but it is showing that their profit margins are declining, which makes sense because some of our profit margins are declining. Some of us are making way less money this time this year than we were last year. Thank the Lord, I am actually up this year compared to this time last year. I just did a check, which I guess I can do that again with you guys. I'll go to my numbers for this month, this time last year, and show you guys what the difference was versus this month, this year, this time. So October 1st to October 31st, generate the report. I'm going to open a second tab and do the same thing for this year. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully everybody can see the screen well. It says that I'm sharing. And I encourage you guys to do this as well too, so that way you know where you're sitting at. I'm sure a lot of people do this, but it's a good practice to know if what you're doing is working. Okay, so we'll look at last year. Last year I sold 637 items around October of 2023 for $14,586 for a total average sales price of $22.90, and I made $70.50. So if we look at this year I'm up $15,317. I sold 587 items. That's less items than last year at 637. And my ASP is up to 26, and I made almost $1,000 more. So, and I'm doing a third of the work, as most of you guys know. I'm even down to listing 20 items a day now, guys. I'm not even doing 30 a day anymore. I'm doing 20 a day. I work 3 days a week. So I'm making more money with less work, even in a down eBay, or with eBay not being down, but seeing declining margins. So I think it's more important than ever to be focusing on the quality of items that we're putting in our store, the amount of time that we spend listing those items. If we're spending 10, 12 hours a day to list 30 items, there's a problem there. And I had someone leave it in the comment section of one of my videos. They're like, I'm wondering how you're doing 30 a day in 4 hours. But I used to do 90 a day, guys, in 6 hours, 6 hours of listing. The rest was, consolidating inventory, packing items, packing orders and things like that. So my work day was a long day, right? But the listing and then taking photos and then sitting in front of a computer part was 6 to maximum 8 hours. It just depended on how much speed I had in me that day. Like if I felt like moving and like busting it out, I could get it done in six. The photo part sometimes that wiped me out. So by the time it came to the listing part, I'd turn on the TV and watch TV while I do my listings. That would make it be 8, 9 hour process for the total day. So, with all that type of foolishness eliminated from the process now, it doesn't take me that long to take my photos, and then I do have a lister now. But uh, that's part of the game, though. If you find that your time is better well spent doing something else that generates you more money in that hour than it costs to my lister's dirtball cheap. So the money that I spend on my lister, I make that doing something else with my day. And then on not only that, I have a better quality of life now. So, in my opinion, I'm making more money doing less work, eBay work, that is, and I have a better quality of life. And you got to figure out what your time is worth. And in the end, let's see, we got a lot of comments came in. Josh Galt, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you. Meha, welcome. Jared, what's going on, bro? Norma, hey, how you doing? Sheila, how you doing? Chris Bell says stock is down 7% after the report. This one says stock slid 4%. Maybe it's gone down more since this. This was on Tuesday, so you might be right. Um, but at the end of the day, eBay's still going to be up because they're charging us. Um, what's your opinion on the Rockstar Flipper? I don't have an opinion. I'm not going to comment on that. That's got nothing to do with me. Um, I wish Chris all the best, and I just don't have an opinion on Rockstar. Promoted fees up to 39%. Yeah, I bet. You got to pay to play. What's up, broski? That's my twin. That guy stole my face. You see him, snatch it back. Most of the game, most of the gain came from PL, up 40% since last year. PL, what's PL? Promoter listings. Yeah. It's the most easiest way for them to make money without doing anything. And then with the advanced listing, the pay per click, I'm sure that's the bulk of it right there. Because even Josh Galt did an experiment. He showed the results on his community tab. He paid like 40 something bucks and didn't sell anything. And it was like, how fast was that, Josh? How fast did you run out of the money? All increases are assigned to promoter listings revenue. And there's people right now that are desperate and they're promoting their items at 20 to 25% just to try to generate some sales. So I can believe that. Me personally, I'm promoting at 8% on new listings. The old listings are still at 10%. I'm not gonna change that. What's up, Billy? How goes it? Bobby says, Marcus, I have your first question. I did free returns and some customer is returning a cool shirt for the wrong color. That's an INAD, right? Anything I can do? Thanks in advance. Sales are picking up. So yeah, technically it is an INAD if they open it up as doesn't match description or photos. That's going to be an INAD. Um, is it not the right color? Because sometimes, like me personally, there's not an option in the drop down for peach, so I call it orange, right? I guess technically that's an INAD, but it just depends on how big of a jerk the customer wants to be. Sometimes they're nice and they're like, "Hey, can you tell me if this shirt is like a teal green, or is it like more like a turquoise blue? Or and they'll ask you like determining questions. Most of the time, you get somebody that's willing to be more than fair with the return. In this case, if they open an INAD, this is an INAD. There's not really much you can do. At least me, I've never had any luck with them removing an INAD for color, which just kind of stinks, but it is what it is. Um, I know you're a good seller, Bobby, and I don't think that you would have a lot. So one isn't going to hurt you. At the end of the day, INADs are not defects, and all they do is um, they add up. And if you get over a certain amount of INADs versus the amount of items you sell, then you can get an increase in fees when you get to very high. So just for example, I'll share my screen with you guys and show you what my INADs look like, and give you um, real quick a um, explanation into what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's see. Share. So I'll go back to my service metrics here. This is where you guys can find this at. So right now I'm at 7 returns. I'm at 0.32 under the average, but that's because I'm at 7 for 2,100 items sold in the last 90 days. Now this will go down because as I've been accepting less offers and listing less items, I'm selling less items, but I'm selling them for more money. So let's check the projected rate. So my projected rate is 6 returns for the next cycle, 6 at 1878 for 0.32. So if I was to get probably, I don't know, let's say 12 INADs, it probably shoot up to the very high range. And then that's when I'd start paying an additional percentage on my final value fees. Uh, but I'm sure that Bobby, you do a fantastic job at selling, so I'm sure yours is still in the average range. So I wouldn't really be too concerned with it unless you got into the high range. I have to say, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. They had many of us panic promoting all quarter. Yeah, they did have a lot of people panicking and promoting more. But at the end of the day, I think that's all part of the game, though. They know you have to pay to play right now. And then, so of course, with people seeing slow sales in Q3, uh, summer slowdown and all that, of course, the first thing to do is increase promotions. And then the sad part about it was people were increasing their promotions and it still didn't generate any extra sales. So I didn't jump on that additional promotion bandwagon. Trisha says, Marcus, I brag about you at work and I'm starting to get more serious with my eBay business. Question: do you promote listings? And if so, does it help? Yeah, I promote 10% for all of my listings up until September. Then post September, I was doing 9% for the whole month of September, October, and until now, I'm doing 8% on my items. So, yeah, I promote. I think it works great. Um, let's just show you my sales chart again. And I'll just show you over the whole year what promoting has done. And if I wasn't promoting, then it would be that many sales that I didn't make. So we'll look at the sales chart for the whole year, for this year. And so far this year, I'm at 162,000. And we look at promoted listings compared to this year. Promoted listing sales for the whole year. Um, Promoted listing sales are $101,000 of my income, right? So imagine if I was not promoting, would I still have made this $101,000? I don't know. Is that a risk I'm willing to bet on and stop promoting? I don't think so, because without it, I would only sold 61,000 items or $61,000. So for me, promoted listings is what drives my business. You have to pay to play. It's just not an option nowadays. You can make sales without promoting. I'm not saying that you have to promote, but in order to really generate some serious capital, you got to pay to play because there's thousands of people out there, millions even, that are promoting. And so, like, if you're like one of those people that are still like on the fence about promoting and you're like, oh, I'm not going to promote, I really think you're doing yourself a disservice. And at least for me, it's been monumental in growth. We got a $10 super chat from Linda, Linda, you stay blessing me. I'm always so thankful for you. You're such an incredible supporter of the channel. I love you with all my heart. You're amazing. Thank you for your support. You're the best. Let me catch back up to where I was. Let's see. Mm, hey man, love your content. I'm now able to get 200 newer tags every week. I'm the guy with the 10K item store. Do you recommend to keep proceeding? If you can get 200 newer tag items every week and they're quality items, go ahead. It doesn't necessarily matter about the size of your store unless you don't have space to hold all those items. So, can you continue to do 200 newer tag items every week and not run out of space? Because if they're 200 quality items, I think you're not going to have extreme growth. For me right now, I can't get over 9,300 items because I'm listing what, like 140 a week now, and I'm selling like 140, 150 a week. So I'm not growing very much. So that's great. So if you can be in a situation like I am, and to where you're not growing as far as the store size, I think that's a great situation to be in. 200 newer tags items every week is that's definitely a blessing. The 39% is a huge increase in just reinforcing the new normal. Unfortunately, you're right, JM. These trends, these things that people do to generate sales in hard times does become the new normal. Promoting at 10% became the new normal for quite a few sellers on eBay versus what was it, 1% was the minimum you could do. And then once they made the minimum mandatory minimum 2%, uh, it's just unfortunately there are going to be things that are determining factors that we don't necessarily have general control over as a whole, because there are going to be so many people in large that do these things that cause the rest of us to either get left behind or adapt. We have to pivot in this game if we want to stay afloat and to be one of the survivors. This will get better. I don't know when, but it will get better, guys. But we got to do what we can to stay in the game until then. If you remove promoted listings, eBay is not a healthy business. Would be down 25% in profits. Absolutely. But promoted listings is slowing, which means sellers have reached the limit. I agree with you there. My November sales are down compared to the same time frame in October, down 30%. We can talk about that more inside the Patreon, Jared, and try to figure out a troubleshooting, see why that is. And now all my numbers, guys, that I go over with you guys, I never add in Poshmark because Poshmark is extra. Poshmark is on top of everything. But if I add in the numbers for Poshmark for October, that's an additional $2,000 that I did in income. So that makes me automatically $2,000 more profitable than I was on eBay last year. This year, I'm not counting Poshmark because Poshmark is not the same as eBay. I'm talking about eBay to eBay uh, year over year. I'm not including Poshmark in that because Poshmark is just it's a separate thing. I was on the earnings call. eBay is forecasting a weak Q4. Buckle up, everyone. I knew that if I could count on anybody to be on that call, it would be you, Josh, and I'm looking forward to your live stream tomorrow to see a rundown of that. Or are you doing that with John flipping what's his name? Flipping ain't easy. Are you doing that on you guys' podcast? World Rewind says, "Hey everyone, hope all are well. We hope you are too." After our stock have taken a hit, I believe it's going to get worse. Once the general population or the people that are investors or the people that do have stock, once they figure that out, that the report is out, I think there will be some people that panic sell their stock or, some things. But as Josh said, it's going to get worse. So we'll see what happens. Norma says, I'm so tired on figuring out what I'm doing wrong. I'm listing 20 and selling 10 daily average, and it doesn't improve. 4K active listings. Well, here's the thing, Norma. You're at a perfect place though. Listing 20 and selling 10 that's the lowest you want to get. You don't want to go any lower than that, but also you want to just make sure that you're picking up the top items that you can. At 20 a day, there's no need for fluff, there's no need for filler, there's no need for mediocrity. So just stay diligent, Put the best 20 items you can in your store a day. If you're not finding 20 quality items, lower it. And then on the days that you can find 20, do 20. That was 15 days and you ran through 40-ish dollars promoted listings and didn't sell anything. That's crazy. Jay says, had to pivot a bit this year. A few months back, noticed I was spending more money buying a ton of used inventory. Switched to buying just new items, and now I'm up 25% selling new inventory. That's great. These are things that a lot of people can do. Um, a lot of people can pivot. The commission. Okay, sorry guys, just got a message from Gyro Pack. Um, so, and I don't know, I haven't seen Hillary's name in here. If Hillary doesn't pop in, I don't know if we'll do the giveaway unless somebody else wants to help with it. Um, yeah, but Jay, I'm glad you were able to pivot and it became profitable for you. That's one of the things that has been a blessing to me is since I've lowered my listing goal, I don't have to spend as much on inventory. So now I'm spending like $200-300 a week on inventory. The max is like 350 a week on inventory. And I was spending closer to 1,000 sometimes in a week to buy 90 a day. And so it's been a game changer. Sheila says my recommended percent to promote is down by 3%. Not sure what that means. Recommended percent to promote. The recommended is down. That's weird. If recommended is what eBay recommends that your category promotes at. Um, I don't know what category that happens to be in, but I know in the clothing category, they're talking about like 15% suggested promoted. And I'm not rocking with that. Chris says, good point, Josh. Travis, what's up? Caught alive. Hey, Marcus, how you doing? I'm doing great, bro. How are you? They said several times that it's tough environment. It is. Everything's up. All the prices are up on everything. Um, Surprisingly, though, there will be no increase on shippings for the USPS this holiday season, but everything else is up. Cost of living's up. Gas prices are up. Well, depends on where you live. Um, Thrift prices are definitely up. I know I was just talking to Bo and a couple of guys from our Patreon right before this call that even at my local Goodwill and local thrift stores, like Wrangler jeans are like $9. And I don't know what you guys pay for jeans in your area, but that's expensive for me in my area when another thrift store right across town sells them for 250 a piece. So I mean, a lot of things are wonky right now that happened to me. It's like 5% on a category, down 5% on a category. Wow. Then it resets in 3 months if sell 400 items. Huh, that's weird. Bobby says, I think a lot, or Billy says, I think a lot of people would benefit from removing the emotion out of reselling. If you're picking the right items, you need to let them marinate. I think that's very true. You got to understand that just because you think an item's great doesn't mean it's going to sell immediately, right? You got to let it sit and wait for the right buyer. Case in point, I pick up all these weird vintage sweatshirts, right? Sweatshirts don't sell all year round, first of all. Second of all, if it's not like a sports team or like a vintage like Grail, then who's gonna know about this electric company sweatshirt that's on a Gildan tag? You know what I mean? So I gotta let that right person come along and buy it. Throw a stain or two on there, then you definitely gotta wait for the right person to come and buy it. So yeah, it might sell for $35, but I might have to sit on it for a year. Just some items are just not very sellable as far as like what's in demand or like keywords and things like that. eBay suggests 14% for my items. That's about what it is for me too. I have a high sell-through rate item. If I have a high sell-through rate item, I don't promote. I make sure my price is extremely competitive. It's been working well. Do you have a set price for postage? $8.95. I just came in. Before I came in, I shut my promoting listings off. I'm frustrated. Well, I know Bo, he said he shut his promoted listings off, or he decreased it. I don't remember how much. He decreased his promoted listings and his sales were down under $500 a day for 5 days. And he said, I he did it for he did it for a whole week. And he said, I can't afford to do this anymore and turned his promoted listings back up to 10%. And he sold over $500 the last couple of days. So let me know, Ona, how it goes. Turning your promoted listings off. I pray that it doesn't sabotage your business. Josh said eBay said on the earnings call that promoted listings are a pillar for revenue growth and they will focus on increasing promoted revenues. How much more can they squeeze out of us? And what does that look like? What does that look like per to focus on increasing promoted revenues? They can't really do much more, can they? I mean, they're already promoting other sellers' items, other sellers' stores, other sellers' listings on top of our listings, in between our listings. In between the photos, you got other sellers' listings. In between your item specifics in the photos, you have other items that are same item that you're listing, that you're selling, that they're on your listing looking at. So if someone's got a cheaper price than you lose out on that sell. So like, I mean, what what else are they gonna do? Come knock on your door and like hand you a screenshot of a promoted listing? Like, I mean, not not to be like funny about it, but like, how much more can you promote? I promote my other items, but at 40 and 50% of my sales come from non-promoted. So that's great. Um, as you saw my numbers, 69,000 or $61,000 was it? 61,000 out of 162 was organic. So I mean, I'm still doing okay with organic, but promoted is definitely driving my business. J Ride, what's going on, man? J Rod's superstar right now, man. Hey Josh, really hoping I can make your live tomorrow. If you guys aren't subscribed to J Rod, check him out. He's putting out a lot of content right now that can help new resellers as well as seasoned resellers, right? There's nothing that we can't learn from each other. And J Rod is putting out top quality educational content right now that's teaching all the things you need to know. And that's why his channel's seeing the growth that it is, because he's really being intentful with the content he's putting out. Let's see. LBS, what's going on? Promoted listing sales are going down because so many people are paying to promote now. eBay created a monster and there's no going back. This is why sales are growing on Posh, Macari, Depop, etc. But Poshmark just introduced promoted listings too, so um, we can't really predict what's going to happen with it. Um, I don't know what this means for eBay. I don't know what this means for sellers. But as Josh is saying, they're focusing on it. So what can we do? We got to pay to play. And I, for one, I'm going to continue to promote my items. Unfortunately, I have no choice. Hey, Jim Flipper, glad to catch you live. Uh, Not sure what's going on, but impressions are down, page views are down, but sales are up. As long as they're up, I wouldn't put too much stock in why they're down. Because at the end of the day, all you need is the one person that's going to buy your item to see your item to buy it, if that makes sense. Billy says, like that new video, J Rod, I think people can take something away from it. There you go. People are getting value from it, J Rod. Unfortunately, with the rise in all costs, we can't base 2020 numbers and expect people can spend the same. People are struggling to pay rent and take care of their families, have to adjust. And that's the thing. A lot of us got in the game in 2020 when things were a total anomaly, right? You could sell the most random of items on eBay and sell it for much more of an inflated rate than what it was definitely supposed to go for. So, with that being said, we have to adjust to what we know to be either an essential type of item, utility type of item. So, for me, I sell clothing. I can sell clothing that's built to last, that has a great reputation, that has a high ASP, that people are going to want to look for. You can sell items that are like trendy and popular, but at the same time, those are going to probably be changing trends real soon, or the person that's buying that is going to either come in and try to lowball you, or they might pay full price too. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody that buys trendy stuff is a lowballer, but what I'm saying is you probably want to offer a better solution, like as far as buying like chore or workwear type of articles, because somebody that has a job that needs affordable clothing to do their job is going to come by that. It's cold outside right now. You might want to sell jackets. It's the proper time to be selling jackets. Putting a boatload of cargo shorts in your store right now is probably not the smartest of ideas. Although they will and can still sell, probably focus on what's going to sell immediately. So that way you don't have capital tied up in things that may or may not sell immediately. And these are just things that we can do. But 2020 days are gone. That was, once in a lifetime thing on eBay. No one's seen anything like it before, and we probably won't see anything like it again. So we all got into the game around then, or at least a lot of us got into the game around then, and we saw a blessing while we had it. But this is the way it is now, and this is how we have to focus moving forward. We can't live in the past. Keep up the great work, and you are an inspiration. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it, bro. And I sure will. Doing my best. Thank you, Marcus. You are welcome. Random Stock Apparel says 145,000 total sales for 2023. My promoted listing rate is 2% across the board, 53 almost 54 in total promoted sales. Looks like pumping those promoted numbers up would make a difference. Absolutely. Absolutely. The more you promote, the more you'll sell. But I think at a certain point, there is a rate of diminishing returns. So, like me personally, I don't think I'm ever going to go above 10% unless it like definitely requires me to do so. But I think anything above 10% is just overkill because there's a lot of people not promoting at 10%. There's a lot of people only promoting at the minimum and they're getting results, but you know, $101,000 is definitely proof in the pudding that promoting is working. Josh says Marcus is 100% right, everyone. It is hard times and it will get better. You just need to stay in the game right now. And that's the name of the game, guys. Just do what you got to do to stay in the game. Don't give up. I promise you, man. It's like in the Bible, there's a town called Jericho. It's a city called Jericho, and God told Joshua and his troops to march around the the town and scream once a day and go back to camp. And he told them to do this every single day. It took 7 laps to do this, 7 days to do this, 7 trips around this town. And what if they would have stopped on the 6th day? Right? They never would have conquered this city. So you guys could be on your 6th lap and you have 1 lap to go to conquer this hard time that we're going through on eBay. But if you quit now, you will not make it. And so you lose all the battles you don't stay to the end through. Right. So this is the battle that we're in right now. We don't understand what we're up against, but we know if we persevere and we stick with it, that we can win this war. That's just all there is to it. And I know it's a weird analogy, but guys, this stuff it applies. I promise you it does. Buckeye State Flip says, I've given up on eBay. I don't expect anything anymore from them. I've turned off all my promotions and started getting a few sales again. So these are the types of posts that make me sad because I feel your defeated state. But at the end of the day, don't jump off the platform. If what you had to do was turn off promotions to get a few sales, that's great. You found out something that generated some activity. But once that stops, because it probably will stop, once that stops, then you have to figure out another way to pivot and generate more sales. But what we do is we don't give up. We don't stop selling on eBay. We just have to pivot and continue to tinker around with some things. Unfortunately, it's just weird. You add a little pinch of salt, you add a little pinch of garlic, now you got a good recipe. But what we got to do is we just got to figure out what works the best for us inside of our stores. And if turning your promoted listings back on has to be something that you implement again to see if it generates more sales, you might have to do that. But Buckeye State Flips do not give up. Let's see. Means your competition is lowering their promo. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Austin, but are you talking about with the recommended percent going down? That could be. That could be why the recommended percent is going down because the competition that is um, dominant in that category has been overall lowering their percentage. So that's probably a great analyzation there, Austin. Um, Liked your boomer vid. It was dead on. I'm switching my cell phone provider because of it. Must be talking about J Ride. Marcus, you can just ask a question that people would know from watching your videos, and whoever answers right first wins. I wouldn't even know what question to ask. Hey, Angie or Kristen and or both. Welcome, guys. Paul, what's going on, man? How you doing, bro? King's servant says there might not be an up for shipping charges through USPS, but they raised prices a few months ago overall. Yeah, but they do that twice a year though, every year. And it's going to go up again next year. But normally during the holiday season, they were upping it during the holiday season to, I guess they were like hiring more staff to pass out the packages and stuff. So they needed the influx of money to be able to pay those employees. But I guess, 2020, like I said, they needed more employees, and there hasn't been a 2020 rush at the post office the last 2 years. It's been pretty docile around shipping time for me. Like I've never seen it go crazy again. Thrift prices are nuts, absolutely insane, 100%. USPS is up 35% in the last 24 months, and it will continue to go up. Eddie says $9 at standard price where I'm from. Yeah, not here in the good old Missouri. Um, Vintage jewelry was recommended about 12.8% for months, but it was 8.9 for today's listings. I'm perplexed. List it at that while you can. If that's what you're listing at, just list it at the lower rate while you can. Take advantage of it. Hey, Rhiannon, how you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you coming and hanging out. Eddie says, I dropped my promoted listings from 13% down to 5. I'm selling more now and margins are better. Hey, that's great. Congratulations. I dropped mine from 10 to 8. I don't notice a huge difference in just promoted listing sales. But overall, my selling costs are down 8% since I've changed a few things inside the business. So, I'll take making 8 more percent profit. That's great. Happy the USPS is not implementing a holiday increase. I think it's from the extra revenue generated from Ground Advantage. That could be a great possibility because I've been shipping a lot of items Ground Advantage. Definitely. You need to mod Rhiannon. It is YouTube, eBay Code of Ethics. I heard you say that on one of your live streams uh, last week. So let me get on here and give Rhiannon a mod. Hang on, guys. Give me a second. What's up, Harry? Where'd you go, Rhiannon? Regina, welcome. Yocasta, welcome. Rhiannon. Okay. There you go, Rhiannon. I'll make you a managing moderator because I know you're official. You won't be on any stupid stuff. Alrighty. Let's see. Hey Josh, what's going on? Any issues with Vendu yet? I'm looking to add it in January. So no, the one thing that I do know about Vendu is that, and this is also with like Flip and a couple of other cross listing platforms, is that when an item has an offer on it, Vendu can't delist that item. So you got to go in and manually delist that item. And with Poshmark, like say you have an offer out on it, the only way to end that item with an offer on it is to like go in and change something. So you have to like edit the size or edit the color or something, save update the listing, and then go in and immediately close it. So I don't think that's a Vendu thing as much as it's a cross listing thing in general. So me personally, I love Vendu, but I also don't have any experience with anything else. So if you're going to ask me about it, I'm going to say it's great. And I'm not paid by Vendu to talk about it. They wanted to sponsor me, and I was like, I can't do that with all due respect because I've been against cross listing for 2 years, and I've spoken verbally, openly about don't cross list. So for you guys to then turn around and pay me to say, hey, cross list, that would be a sellout, and I'm not going to sell out. So all I've been doing is documenting my experience with cross listing for these last 2 months, and for me, it's generated extra capital. Vendu makes it easy. I don't know if anything else is easier, so all I can speak on is Vendu, but I'm pretty pleased with it, and I'll continue to use it. Um, I know there's other software out there that delist on more platforms, so Vendu probably isn't the best, but it works for me. Let's see. If eBay took away your option to promote listings, what other things would you try? Well, promoted listings is a way to get your item put at the top, right? So we would have to think, well, then what can get my item put at the top underneath promoted listings, which is what moves items to the top? Then it would have to be either best match, which would be a lower price, a closer location, better quality item. Maybe it's titled the right way to where a buyer's going to search for your item the right way. But I feel honestly, 100% transparency. If they removed promoted listings from all sellers, then it would be a much more level playing field because a lot of people are getting sales generated based off the fact that their crappy item is now promoted at 10%, right? So if it's going to be a game of strategy, picking the best items that you can, then it's going to be a much more level playing field for people that actually have the experience and the knowledge, or at least just take more time to look their items up, find out if this item's even really worth picking up. There's a lot of people out there in the thrift throwing stuff in their cart that they shouldn't be throwing in their cart. And that's number one, just based off of, oh, I said I was going to list 10 today, so I got to pick these items up. Number two is going to be people who just are selling it based off what they sold it off of for 3 years ago. Number three, they're going to be picking it up based off of what they deem an item to be worth. So, say you like Garth Brooks, you see a Garth Brooks t-shirt, you're going to buy it at $10 because you think Garth Brooks is super cool. But then you come to look at the comps and you find out that they only go for 9.99, and you just paid $10 for it just because you happen to like Garth Brooks. Now, I'm not saying that this is, legit facts, but I'm just using that as an example, as a hypothetical. So I feel like if they took away promoted listings, it would level the playing field for a lot of people and it would make it probably a much better platform to sell on. But, it's not going anywhere, as the report has said. So wishful thinking. Billy only buys at the thrifts, and his average buy cost is 434 for the year so far. Focus on high sell through and high profit items. It works. It definitely works if you work it. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Miss Lachey. Harry, I already spoke to you guys. 7x what, Yocosta? Seven times what? And welcome. You're up 7%. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. I'm still listening. Just not going to accept anything from them. Uh, I hope those banging days and then other days you get nothing. I have those banging days and then other days you get nothing. I'm all right with it. That's common. That's not going to stop. The other day I sold like $600 and then the next day I sold like 280. So, unfortunately, those high spikes and those low days are still going to be around. Um, take the emotion out of this, people. Emotion will kill your goals. People give up right before a breakthrough. Absolutely. I would say before you just give up, just list an item a day and work on old listings you have. You might have some inventory you just need to tweak a bit or even run a sell on those items. And there's a person in our Patreon that I talked to this morning that's getting ready to do exactly that. She's got about 4,000 items listed. And instead of going out and continuing to buy new inventory, she's going to like totally end the listings, not end and relist. She's going to end, redo the whole listing, like start it from a new listing and make sure the title's good, make sure that the item's even worth being listed in the first place, and then make sure that the keywords are great, item specifics are all right, and she's going to do the listings the way that she's doing them now because she's got items that's been in her store 7 years and they're just not even worth being listed. So sometimes you really got to do a self audit and make sure that the inventory that you have listed is worthy of being in your store. And sometimes it's a little bit harder to do that than we would like to admit because we want to think that we know what we're doing. We're experts, or like, we trust ourselves, but sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. We can have items listed in our store that we know don't need to be in our store, but yet and still we leave them in there because uh for one reason or another, we think they're better than they are. We spent our hard-earned time going out picking these items up, so therefore we demand to be able to sell them. And at the end of the day, sometimes it's just not true. At the same time, if you're picking up items with a 30% sell through, you can only be mad at yourself. Absolutely. And that might be a great sell through for somebody. Somebody might be thoroughly pleased with a 30% sell through. Might take a year for your item to sell, but it'll sell within a year. Um, Bob Armadillo or Boho Armadillo says, just got an email from Pirate Ship, priority increase November 18th. That might be a pirate ship thing because from what I'm gathering, USPS. Okay, so Bearded Picker says USPS is raising their rates November 18th. So what was I saying where it said they were not raising them? What's up, Regina? Priority rates are going up and ground advantage is coming down for some. Maybe that's what it was. The USPS ground advantage is going down. But the lady at my post office told me there will not be any increase on packages this year. Maybe, but that's also the gas station that I go to. it's a gas station that has a subset um, contracted, branch from the USPS to where you can go drop off your packages. That lady's been there for 18 years, so usually she knows what she's talking about. So I'm just gonna have to get on the USPS website and check it out, and see what they're saying because I'm getting mixed reviews now. Hey, Red, how you doing? Hiya, just got off work. Hopefully you didn't work too hard. Thank you for saying this because I've been feeling defeated. We all feel somewhat defeated in some way or another, but we can't quit. So just keep going. I promise you, you're gonna make it through it if you stay diligent. Hey, Hillary, what's going on? Welcome. I didn't know if you were gonna show up. Do you want to do a giveaway, Hillary? Well, I think we might have time for at least to do one. Jay Ramsey says, "What's up, guys? What's going on? Uh, do you delete in listings after they sell? What do you mean? Like on another platform?" So if something sells on eBay, I obviously I don't have to delete it. But if it sells on eBay, then Poshmark has the item still listed. Vendu will delete the item for me. As long as there's no offers out on the item, then I have to go in there and do it myself. For item specifics, do you list more than one theme? I rarely even fill out theme, honestly. So if I want to like have an item that sells because of the type of item it is or like the person that I want to sell it to, then I'll go down there and fill it out. But honestly, I don't really fill theme out. My wife and I are listing right now, and we noticed an increase on USPS ground shipping. Okay, well, there you go, guys. It is going up. I started eBay before promoted listings were a thing. It was a generally better marketplace. I can believe that. Usually it's $3 to $4, but now it's five. Yeah, so it might have gone up. What's up, Casey? How you doing, my friend? Hope all is well with you. Okay, guys. Hillary is locked and loaded. Pick an item between 1 and 100 right now. Spam the chat. We'll give away some shipping supplies. One order of 100 items. So like 100 poly mailers or whatever you need, as long as it's not over 100 items. Um, Did bundles sell well? Are there keywords to help with bundle listing? I do not list bundles, honestly. But when it comes to like a bundle of anything, obviously you just want to do um, probably like items, brands if preferable, and then just base it off the keywords that are based around the item that you're selling. I would treat it the same as you would a single listing, just with multiple items. Glad to catch you on the live. Glad to have you here, Red. There are no temporary USPS holiday surcharges. This okay? So yeah, this is what I'm thinking. What Josh said. What I was talking about was there is no holiday increase, but there is always more than one increase for uh rates. Two times a year they increase the rates on USPS. So yes, while there is no holiday increase, which is what I was saying, there is a increase to the rates going up on November 18th, which is fine with me. I'm already charging what I'm charging. Bulk can be bundle can be bulk or big lot. Okay, so let me check these numbers real quick. I don't see anyone with it so far. All right, guys, go ahead and stop sending your numbers through. I don't see anyone with it yet. So close. Let's see. I don't see anybody that has it yet. People are really close though. I don't see it. Hillary, if you see it, let me know. I don't see it though. I'm still scrolling. Let's see. Did you find a winner? Phil Five and Dime. Let's see. I don't see that. Okay, so I don't see that winner, but Hillary says Phil Five and Dime won. I don't even see that person on here. Um, but congratulations. Let's see here. So if you are still in here, go to the GyroPack website, take a screenshot of the item that you want. Um, and then once you've done that, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram. Message me on Instagram with the item that you're send me the screenshot of what you want, and then oh, there you go. Phil Five and die. So where's your number at? Hillary, am I confused? Let me know if I'm tripping, Hillary, because I don't all I see from him is him saying, hey. Anyway, if you did win, my friend. Okay, yeah, you won. All right, cool. So yeah, just message me on Instagram with your order. It's got to be 100 pieces or less, Phil. And I need your first and last name and your address and what you're ordering. And we'll get it shipped out to you. So congratulations, my friend. You have won. Silver Sharpie says you don't think 10% is a lot after the 12% plus they already take. Yeah, I never said that it wasn't a lot. I definitely think it's egregious, but what does that matter? If I was to start my own Shopify store and then try to, do marketing and like start a campaign to then promote my own stuff, imagine how much money I'd pay in fees just to generate a decent living. Imagine how much money I would have to pay in fees, right? So 22%. I would have to pay minimum 50% of my income just to put into marketing. So I think yeah, it sucks, but at the end of the day, we got to keep things in a perspective. You know what I mean? Like where else can we just pick up some random stuff and list it, and we don't really need any additional income. All the fees are fee netted. So all the money that we have to pay for selling that item comes out after we sell the item. Right. So like you don't have to pay to list it first. You don't have to, well, I mean, you got to pay your listing fee, but you don't have to pay the promotions up front. You don't have to pay the shipping up front. You don't got to do anything up front. So I think it's a small price to pay in the grand scheme of things overall. If I got to pay these fees to make the money I make, then that's just what I got to do. So the winning number was 96. Um, Big guy says, question: if you can only do a sell or do a promotion on an item at 10%, what would you do? What would you do? Split at five each or 10% on just one? So the best thing to do in that situation would be to pass on the savings to the buyer. So I would do 10% of a sell, but you can split it evenly. But I feel like a lower cost to the buyer is going to be much more enticing than whether the item's at the top of the page or not. Because you could be at the top of the page at $99 and I could be down, uh, below you at $80 and it's going to sell better. Um, okay, Phil, what was the number there? The number was 96. Congrats, Norma says. Uh, Marcus, was I supposed to get 100 pieces? You were supposed to get whatever you wanted. No, as long as it was not over 100 pieces. So, like, you couldn't order a 200 count bag. You know what I mean? You can order 100 count, but you couldn't order 100 over 100. And the reason why I specify that is because the first two winners picked orders of 200 poly bags, and Gyropack got on my top for it. 103 watching, 42 likes. Come on, y'all, hit that like button. Appreciate it if you do. Y'all heard Boho, hit the thumbs up. Zippadoo says, hi, if you do not notice an increase in sales, then why do you set your listings to same day at 5 a.m. cutoff Is it just the extra 10% on eBay fees? What are your thoughts? Are you talking about me specifically with 5% aim or 5 a.m. cutoff? And if you are, how do you know that I do that? Second of all, I just do that to give the buyer the incentive to shop with me because I offer same day shipping. Um, and if they see that it's same day shipping, then they'll be more enticed to shop with me. How do you know that I do that? Did I tell you that? You told me. Nice. Okay, so yeah, the reason why I do that is because it just you get this red banner that says ship same day. But I do it at 5 a.m. because I'm asleep at 5 a.m. So I don't get up till 6. So that means technically if it sells after 6, I don't have to worry about shipping it that day. But the buyer still sees that it sells that day. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a mind game with the buyer. Like whatever sells overnight, I still have to ship, but, if someone's shopping at 6:05 in the morning, they're like, "Oh, same day." They're probably not going to be reading the fine print that it has to be purchased before 5 a.m. And they still might buy that item because they think there's a possibility they can get it that same day. Um, it's just a little mind game. I don't know if it generates any extra sales or not. It's just what I do. I appreciate your realistic perspective. Every store, online or brick and mortar, has slow stretches. The only reason why I know this is because I've tried to pay promotion for my own business before, my own personal training business, and I was doing like Facebook ads and stuff like that. But I would set a budget for the amount of views that I wanted to get, like based off the amount of clicks that I thought I was going to be able to generate in order to get as many sales as I thought I was going to get. And I would fly through my budget in half the time that I thought I would. And it just became really, really costly to just still not even generate any sales. So, like, there's always the risk that you could put all this money into marketing your item or doing your own Shopify store or whatever, and then you're the little guy. So, even if you do get a bunch of people to see your item, nobody's heard of your store before, nobody's heard of you before, nobody knows whether you have a reputable, business. So even though, like, say you get on Instagram, your every other ad is you, you know, um, it's just probably not going to generate the same as whereas eBay's got a reputation of being in the game for over 20 years, millions of sellers, millions of sales. I just think, we kind of got to take the good with the bad. Like, yeah, they're taxing us, but at the end of the day, they get results. You know what I'm saying? Another question. So if I get an eBay request for a return, does eBay send them automatically a label for free returns? What about buyer pays returns? Thanks in advance. So yeah, if you offer free returns and they open a return, a label automatically gets generated. Now there is sometimes a glitch that comes up that makes you go and like purchase a label off pirate ship and then upload it to the buyer. That's a rare occurrence out of all the returns that I've had all year. I think I've had to do it like 4 or 5 times. Um, and then so if it's a buyer pays for return, then yes, they have to pay for the return label, and you are not responsible for anything except for the return when the item gets there, or the refund once the item gets there. So, if you do free returns, you don't have to do anything. The return request gets opened, the label gets generated. They have a certain amount of time to print the label off and ship the item back. If not, you get your money back. I just got a return close while we've been on this call because no one returned the item. So therefore the return got closed. I get to keep the money. And that's that. So yeah, if you guys got any last minute questions, go ahead and get them asked. If not, I will be jumping off here soon because we're at the 8 o'clock hour. And I really appreciate you guys' time. You guys have made this a really good conversation tonight. I like having these conversations with you guys. I like going back and forth, getting a difference in of opinions and a different point of view. Um, we're all at different sizes, different stores, different business models inside of our eBay business or our reselling, whatever platforms we're on. And just to be able to have a conversation about what's going on out here, what strategies others are using, maybe we can glean something from each other that gives us all some type of success that we're looking to see. But without having a conversation, we honestly just don't know any better. So I appreciate everyone's time. Um, so if all 160 items are at 2.5%, should I change all to 10%? No, absolutely not. You need to determine what profit margin you can afford to generate your promoted listing sales. So, like, if all you've got to play with promotions is like 5% and you promote at 10%, now you're cutting into your profit margins. So if you're at 2.5, but you can only go up to as high as 5 and you don't know that because you haven't ran your numbers, you'll definitely cut into your profits. So figure out what you need to sell an item for to be profitable, all the way down to what your break even price is. And the way that you do that is you get on the eBay fee calculator and you just use that. And it will tell you what your break even price is. eBayfeecalculator.com. And then you just type in what the item you pay for, what the price you pay for it is, and what you sell it for, all the way down to you sell it for the break even for what you pay for. That way you'll know what to promote at. Have a good weekend, everyone. Al says, keep your head up, folks. God is good. Keep persisting. Let's get that cash. Absolutely. So, yeah, guys, I really appreciate everyone's time. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up for me on your way out so people will catch us on the replay. That's going to do it for this one. Catch you guys on the next one. Until then.